Imagine flying halfway across the world, believing you're just days away from giving your child the ultimate gift, U.S. citizenship. You've booked a hospital, arranged a comfortable apartment near the city, and are fully prepared to welcome your baby into the land of opportunity. But suddenly, at the airport or even during your visa interview, you're stopped, questioned, and denied entry. In some cases, your visa may even be cancelled. This is the new reality under President Trump's 2025 administration, which has officially launched a sweeping crackdown on what is known as birth tourism. Birth tourism refers to the practice of traveling to another country, particularly the United States, with the specific intention of giving birth there so the child can gain automatic citizenship. According to the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, any child born on American soil becomes a U.S. citizen, regardless of the mother's nationality or immigration status. For many international families, this law has long been seen as a golden opportunity, a gateway to a better future through education, healthcare, and eventually the ability to sponsor family members. However, under the Trump administration's updated 2025 immigration enforcement policies, birth tourism is now under strict scrutiny. The U.S. Department of State and Customs and Border Protection have been given clear directives: deny visas and refuse entry to individuals suspected of traveling for the purpose of giving birth in the U.S. This policy is already being enforced at American embassies and airports around the world. In January 2025, just weeks after President Trump returned to office, a new executive order was issued targeting birth tourism specifically. It gave authority to consular officers and CBP agents to immediately deny tourist visas, particularly B1, B2 visas, if they believe the applicant intends to give birth in the U.S. for the purpose of securing citizenship for their child. Critically, these officers do not need hard evidence. Suspicion alone is enough. If a visa officer or border agent feels your travel plans revolve around childbirth, they can deny your visa. Consider the case of a Nigerian woman who applied for a tourist visa to visit her sister in Houston. During her interview, she mentioned she was in her second trimester and wanted to spend time with family. Her visa was immediately denied. The officer believed her true intention was to give birth in the U.S., making her ineligible for a tourist visa. In another example, a Pakistani couple landed in New York in May 2025. The wife was visibly pregnant. When asked why they were visiting, she stated she wanted quality healthcare. That single comment led to a 12-hour detention at JFK Airport, cancellation of their visas, and deportation on the next flight. These are not isolated cases. Under Trump's 2025 enforcement, traveling to the U.S. while pregnant is now seen as a red flag, especially if your purpose is vague or you cannot convincingly prove that giving birth is not the primary goal of your trip. Even though birth tourism itself is not technically illegal, misrepresenting your purpose for visiting is. If you apply for a tourist visa claiming you're just a traveler, but your actual intent is to give birth and secure citizenship for your baby, that's considered visa fraud, a serious offense. U.S. immigration officers are not required to meet the "beyond a reasonable doubt" standard. If they simply perceive your intent as dishonest or questionable, they can deny your visa or deny you entry. Even if you're being truthful, appearing nervous or uncertain can lead to rejection. In 2025, the enforcement strategy is proactive. It focuses on preventing birth tourism before it happens. How do immigration officers identify suspected birth tourists? It starts with the visa application. Officers are now trained to flag women who are visibly pregnant or of childbearing age and who show signs of planning a delivery in the U.S. Social media accounts are also being monitored. Posts showing ultrasound images, baby shopping, or hashtags like #USABaby or #BornInUSA can be used as evidence. U.S. embassies are now even asking applicants about their pregnancy status during interviews, especially if their travel dates fall within the second or third trimester. And the scrutiny doesn't end there. At the border, customs officers may ask about your medical plans, health insurance, accommodations, or return flight details. If you don't provide convincing answers, or your timeline suggests a due date in the U.S., you can be denied entry even with a valid visa. Officers are especially alert for travelers heading to cities like Miami, Los Angeles, and New York. all hotspots for birth tourism in the past decade. But what if you are pregnant and traveling for legitimate reasons? Maybe you're visiting family or attending a professional event. Unfortunately, the burden of proof is now on you. You'll need to show strong ties to your home country, such as employment, real estate, or other obligations that demonstrate you plan to return. Carry travel insurance and proof that you can pay for all medical expenses yourself, without relying on public assistance. And most importantly, have a return ticket, especially if you're in your third trimester. Not having a flight scheduled before your due date could be seen as intent to remain until delivery. Even if you are completely honest and have no intention of misusing the system, a simple assumption could cost you your visa. Let's address some common myths surrounding birth tourism in 2025. Myth number 1. Entering the US before showing signs of pregnancy will keep you safe. Reality. Officers can still review travel history, ask questions, and investigate medical bookings if they suspect you're planning to give birth in the US. Myth number 2. Avoiding any mention of childbirth and claiming you're just a tourist is enough. Reality. Lying or withholding information is considered visa fraud. If discovered, it can lead to travel bans lasting years. Myth number 3. Giving birth on US soil secures your child's future. Reality. While your baby will be a US citizen, that status doesn't protect you as the parent. If you commit visa fraud, you can be deported, banned from re-entry, and face legal consequences, including fines or criminal charges in organized birth tourism cases. So who is being affected the most by this 2025 crackdown? Pregnant women from countries with historically high birth tourism activity are under the closest watch. These include travelers from China, Nigeria, India, Pakistan, Russia, Turkey, the Philippines, and several South American countries. Embassies in these regions are already reporting longer interviews, more scrutiny, and increased visa denials. Even birth tourism companies, businesses that advertise US baby delivery packages, are now being shut down or driven underground. The Department of Homeland Security is actively investigating these operations, and recent arrests have been made in Florida and California. For pregnant women who do have legitimate reasons to visit the US, these new policies present serious obstacles. But there are ways to protect your visa. Be fully transparent about your travel plans. Provide hospital records from your home country to show you intend to deliver there. Offer documentation proving your ties to family, job, or property back home. Always carry a confirmed return ticket. Be ready to explain your plans clearly and honestly if questioned. At the end of the day, you must ask yourself, is it worth the risk? In 2025, trying to enter the US to give birth without a clear, legal, and truthful basis can result in life-altering consequences. What once seemed like a harmless shortcut to citizenship has now become a legal minefield. And under the Trump administration, that minefield is under constant surveillance, with harsh penalties for those caught trying to exploit the system. So, if you're planning to visit the US while pregnant, do your research. Be transparent. Travel for the right reasons. And if you're unsure about your situation, consult a qualified immigration attorney before taking your next step. Thank you for watching. If this video helped clarify things for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for real-time updates on US immigration policies. Got a question about your case? Drop it in the comments, we respond to everyone. Stay informed. Stay smart, stay safe.